All right. Greetings, fellow classmates. Discussion post 2, CRJ 305. Question 1. What are the issues surrounding processing and incarcerating women and girls through the criminal justice system? First issue I found was gender bias. Women tend to receive more lenient treatment as a result of their gender, or they may be treated more harshly. I found the chivalry hypothesis, which implies that women receive preferential treatment by the justice system because they are women. I also discovered racism was a huge issue. Women who were older, little white old ladies tended not to be arrested as often as younger women and women of color. But that also depended later on for sentencing if they had a good lawyer. I think that counts for everybody. There's also the evil woman hypothesis. Women are not only being punished for violating the law, but they're also punished for violating the sort of status quo, their gender role expectation. A lady is a lady, and you are not to commit a crime. Naughty, naughty. Research finds, this was on page 379, that women of color who were a little bit lighter tend to receive a lighter sentence than someone who was darker. I thought that was a little unfair. It's not fair at all. All right, so question 2, based on the readings regarding the nature of female offending, do you think it is important that girls and women receive treatment that is geared towards their unique problems? Why or why not? My opinion was that it is very important. A lot of these women have very traumatic pasts. They may have been assaulted. They may have just had a rough childhood, something that's happened to them that has caused them to commit a crime. They may be drug addicts. And that goes for men too. They have the same thing. And so having a program in which they can feel safe and they can recover properly is very, very important. I found there were 6 principles in the correctional environment that were to help address the problems of female offenders. The first one was gender, which is considerable social construct. Some people do not identify as a gender. Some women do not identify as women. They may identify as a them, they, their. They may identify as a man. So that is very, very important in the treatment of who they are as a person. Environment, they need to feel safe. They need to feel comforted. They need to feel like their existence is warranted and wanted. Relationships with themselves, with possibly their treatment officer, with whatever happened to them in the past. Services and supervision. Some people need a little bit more supervision, namely somebody who is going through a drug rehab program. They need to make sure that they're taking their medications on time, that they are not violating curfew, and that they're abiding by the limits set up. Their socioeconomic status, where they are. Did they come from a wealthy family? Did they come from a poor family? How does that affect them as a person? How does that affect how they will be treated in prison? And then community, who they were in the community, whether they have any ties. Did they have a family? Do they have anything within their job that made them who they are? The only reason I would think that it might be a bad idea is that some of these programs are not one size fits all. It costs a lot of money to support these programs, to get everybody through, and there's not necessarily a success rate. I mean, there wasn't anything in the book that I found But if the programs are successful, which we hope that they are, it does reduce the recidivism rate, and therefore less money is spent in prisons. More money for programs. Yay! And the third question, how are women processed in other countries through the criminal justice system? The book had a nice short section on this. It said in China that women are considered subordinate members of society. They're treated with kid gloves. They're given lower sentences than their male counterparts. Again, chivalry. Taiwan, if the woman is submissive to the judge, he may give her a more lenient sentence. So, ladies, if you ever go to Taiwan, be nice to your judge. South Korea, again, chivalry. They tend to get shorter sentences than men. Australia, it seemed that Indigenous women seemed to get more preferential treatment by the justice system. It was kind of brief. And Finland, being very progressive, treat their women the same as their men. They do not get any preferential treatment, and they tend to be sentenced about the same. That is all I could find. Thank you.